Hello and welcome back to a new vlog. So I don't have my mic on right now because I am not at home. I'm at a friend's house because we are cat sitting for them while they are out of town. And this is the gorgeous little Tatavik. She's such an anxious girly. Like, she always hides from us. The second I let go of her, she'll run away. But she loves a little stroke and a cuddle. So she'll just purr away and make biscuits. She's so cute. But I am starting a new vlog because I will be starting the next books in the Throne of Glass series. So I wasn't sure whether to go for Heir of Fire or the Assassin's Blade next, but I spoke to my resident Sarah J. Maas expert, my friend Bookseller Baggins on Instagram, and she recommended Assassin's Blade next because you kind of get more background on some of the characters. It's kind of like 5 novellas in one book, and she said that tonally, like, this is quite similar to Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, whereas Heir of Fire is where she's like, it kind of becomes more epic fantasy. So I'm going to do that. Well, I was going to start it and film me kind of reading it now, but the second I let go of her, she has a problem. So I don't think I'm going to read it right now. And we are meeting some friends, and we're going to go and travel to Gyumri, which is like Armenia's second biggest city, and just have a little day trip after this. So yeah, I don't know when I'm going to start it, but at some point today. But I just wanted to show you Tatavik because she's so cute. Okay, so it's actually a few days later. We went to Gyumri. It was really nice. We went with some friends, and I took a few clips while we were there of like just the city. I really like it. It's very arty, I would say, like more so than Yerevan. You've got lots of like, I think there's a history of ceramics there, and we went around this art museum, which was really lovely. And just the city itself, there's just so much like art and care put into everything, really. Like, the metalwork is beautiful. When you look at like people's fences, they're designed really lovely. So yeah, I just really like walking around there, so I took a few little videos while we were there. But then I haven't updated since, so that was Saturday and it's now Tuesday. But I haven't read any of the Assassin's Blade yet. I've been reading my history book, which gives me a new like history thing each day, and my book about miscarriage. So I've been reading those, which are good, but I do want to start the Assassin's Blade, but I just haven't been in the mood. But today I am going to do it, and right now I am about to head out and go and do some shopping. There's a couple bits I want to pick up. I got last week I went to the big shopping centre with one of my friends, and I picked up this reed diffuser, and it smells so nice. So I'm gonna go into, there's a smaller shop I think in town, so I'm gonna go in and get one of those again, so that I can have another one near our entryway, and then some refills, because I've got a few like reed diffuser pots that are empty now, but I've still got them, and I've got some reeds, so I'm gonna get a refill so I can use it in the other pots as well. And then the whole house will smell lovely, which is good. And then I'm gonna come home. I've got a few bits I need to do, but then I'm hoping to start Assassin's Blade. So I figured I'd just give a little update and then take you on a trip into town. I truly went out at the perfect time because looking outside now, there is a huge grey cloud about to come over the city. But yeah, it was so nice outside. Like, it truly feels so spring-like and I love it. I'm just so in the mood for like the sun and strolling outside, not needing a jacket, kind of that cafe outside culture again. I cannot wait. It feels like it has been so long because we had so much snow over the winter here. The air was so polluted in the winter that I literally couldn't leave the house. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to have kind of normal spring again, which is great. So when I was out, I got one of these when I was out with my friend last week. It's a cherry blossom limited edition reed diffuser from this shop called Mucho, which doesn't sound very Armenian, but I've only ever seen it here. I think it might be like a Spanish company, but their stuff is beautiful. So I took a couple of clips in Mucho that I put in just before this, but it smells so nice, and the limited edition one is like super strong. So I've got one in my office, and then I bought one for the entryway, and I bought a refill as well so that I could put it in 3 empty reed diffusers that I had. But the really nice thing is, although I've got my own reed sticks, when you get a refill here, they give you the sticks automatically. So she gave me like 2 packs of sticks, which I was like not expecting. So that has perfectly sorted that, and I haven't had to dip into my supply, which is good. So yeah. And then I was just really enjoying wandering around, although I was on a mission. So, and I couldn't find rocket, which is really annoying. The rocket that they had in the shop I was in, Parma, was like £5. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And then they had this nut butter that Olive put in as well. It looked so good. It was like cinnamon and vanilla nut butter. And my mouth was like salivating looking at this thing. And then I looked at the price and it's like 13, 14 quid. And I was like, oh, I can't do that. But it looked so good and it made me really want toast. So for lunch, I am having jam sandwiches. We've only just found like good bread here, like for sandwiches, because the bread they have is phenomenal. It's amazing. I love it. And it's all so fresh, but they don't really do sandwich bread. And if they do, it's more like the American style stuff, which just isn't as good. But we found like one brand that I like, so I'm getting that. And yeah, jam sandwich for lunch, because I was going to make toast and then I was like, I don't really want to wait for the toaster to go. So jam sandwiches, and I'm going to watch the new episode of my favourite podcast, which is Fear And, which is like, if you don't know, it's like a bunch of Twitch streamers, but it's really funny. So I'm going to watch that. And then I've got some other things, little bits and things to do, like admin, life admin stuff. And then hopefully I'm going to get some reading done. So yeah. I'm so annoyed. I get to the gym and then realise that I left my headphones, so I had to do like a workout with no music, and they didn't turn on the music in the gym until I was like 10-15 minutes in, so it was the most depressing workout ever. And like, I get quite anxious about going to the gym. Like yesterday I wanted to go, but I kind of put it off and just scrolled on my phone in bed for 2 hours. I don't know what it is. I think there's a few reasons, but I get really anxious even though like after I've been I feel good, even if I didn't really do that much, which today I just kind of went on a couple machines, did some like floor exercises, and then did like the bike for like 10 minutes. But so it's not really much, and it's not enough to actually like do anything, but I do feel better for having been. But I know that if I'd had my headphones I would have done more, and that just really annoys me. So I'm gonna have to find them when I get home, because I thought they were in my bag and they weren't. But I was rewarded with a gorgeous view of Ararat as I drove in. Like, it's so annoying because I can't really show you, because at ground level like all of the like houses are in the way, but it's so pretty in the mornings. I'd try and get like a video when I was driving, but I don't really want to touch my phone, even though everyone else here does. But yeah, I don't really want to touch my phone while I'm driving. And when I like try and set it up so that it records, like it gets half of the like phone holder in, so it just doesn't look good even if I tried. But yeah, I'm gonna go back home now. I need to get some makeup on, have a shower, get dressed, not in that order obviously. I've got some people coming over to do some stuff in the house, so yeah, I'm tired though, but I do feel good, so there's that. I have cleaned, I have done my makeup, I've had a shower, I've got dressed. It's been very go, and I actually kept my hair in a ponytail. I don't usually have it up, but I think the best messy kind of ponytails and buns always happen. Oh. Hey. They always happen. I'm gonna stop sniffing the microphone. As I was saying, the best like messy buns and ponytails always happen when you are not trying for them to. So, sorry. Right, this is a mess. Hi. Yeah, the best like messy buns and ponytails always happen when you're not trying, and I was not trying when I went to the gym this morning, but I kept it in while I was getting ready, and I actually quite like it, so I'm keeping it. But I figured I would give you an update before everyone gets here. So she's what's the word? Incessant? So I have finished the first of the like 5 novellas in Assassin's Blade, The Pirate King, and I really liked it. I think that it does a really good job at setting up the relationships that were like kind of established in the first book, but this is fine. The relationships established in the first book that we didn't really get to see and we were just told about. So like the relationship between Kalena and Arabin, and more importantly the relationship between her and Sam. So we are starting to see the beginnings of that, which I really like, and it kind of makes me feel like we'll get to see more of that, which is good, because otherwise you don't really realise like how I've had to give up and come sit at my desk or my vanity. Yeah, because I think if like we're told a lot in Assassin's Blade, but we're not really shown why these people are so important to Kalena, so that's really good. I'm also starting to see why we shouldn't trust Arabin. Like, why is he getting into slaves? I really hope that's answered, because I think the first story has left me with many more questions. Like, why is Arabin wanting slaves? Did he set Ben up, etc.? So I'm quite interested to see how maybe we get those answers in the other novellas, or if that's a problem for one of the later books like Heir of Fire, which is next. But I'm really enjoying it. I think they're in really good chunks, so you can kind of read one at a time like I did, but I do want to read more, so I might read 2 today if I can. One more thing I didn't actually touch on, but one thing I really liked about the first novella is that it also shows like a consistency in Kalena and her values. Like, we see her, like, obviously we meet her in Throne of Glass after her experience in Endovia, where she is obviously anti-slavery and wanting to free people, blah blah blah. But within this first novella you see that prior to her enslavement, which, I mean, obviously everyone should be against slavery, but clearly in this world they're not. So it's really good to see that there's like this consistency in her values, and even like when it comes to things like her value of loyalty, you can see that she is consistently loyal to those she feels deserves it. Like when Ben is killed and she's like, well, why didn't you get his body? And then she turns to the rest who are like, just leave it, like it's gonna be too much of a faff. And she's like, well, I ain't getting your bodies then. Like, so you can see this consistency when it comes to the people she cares about. She is fiercely loyal, and I really like that too. Oh man, I need to get off Threads, because why am I crying over the Artemis launch? What the hell? I've officially finished Assassin's Blade. It is done. So I haven't updated in a while, but I kind of read them individually. So I went for each one. So I don't think I've updated since the second one. But the notes that I had in my phone for the last 2 were that the one with Irene, the healer, was like much shorter, but I really liked it. And the one in the desert I really liked. I think until the last one, that was my favourite, because I really liked the dynamic. I thought the adventure of it was really fun. I liked Ansel, and I think the twist really did shock me. But I think the problem I've had with these stories is they are very repetitive, and it was only really when I got to the end and I was reading the acknowledgements that I kind of realised that they had been published separately originally. Like, each one had been published as an individual, like, ebook novella thing, which is, like, cool and a good way to get people invested, like, in between waiting for new books. But I think if you're going to publish them as a book in one thing, then edit it, because each story kept rehashing everything, and I found that really frustrating. Like, you know, we would have just read the one with the pirate, and then the next one is talking about how angry Arabin is at her. I'm like, yeah, I know that. Like, I know. So I found that really frustrating, is to rehash it at the start of every single story. We were rehashing what had happened in the previous ones. And I think there could have been some editing in that to just kind of take some of that out. If it's in the same book, then why not? So I did struggle with that a little bit. It was obviously quite emotional towards the end. I think it wasn't as emotional as I thought it would be. Obviously, having read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, I already knew some of what was coming, and the writing was on the wall for some things like Arabin's betrayal. But yeah, I don't know. What did really get me though is Sam saying my name is Sam Cortland and I'm not afraid, because it just made me think of Crescent City, and if I think of that I'll just cry, so I need to not because that one is if you know, you know. But yeah, I did really enjoy this. I think it provides some much needed backstory, and I think the important thing that it does is that it brings in characters that we are surely going to see again in the future. Like, I think within each story there is a person we will see again, like whether that's Ansel or Lysandra or whoever. I think we are going to see these people again, so it's good to get a basis for them. But at the same time, I don't know how necessary Assassin's Blade was. I feel like that could have potentially been done through the medium of flashbacks in Throne of Glass, etc. I don't know. I thought it was nice though. I liked it. It gave us some backstory, but I feel like I still have a lot of questions. So yeah, be interesting. So I'm gonna start Heir of Fire soon, and I'm excited for that because I've been told that's where the series kind of really starts to take a change. So yeah, I'm excited. I just haven't updated in a while. I've been really struggling to update because if I'm not like feeling it, or I don't know, I've just been struggling, but it's okay. I'm getting through the series slowly but surely, and Heir of Fire will be next. Since I last updated you, I have started Heir of Fire, and I'm about like almost 200 pages in, which I didn't expect. So last night, really late, we had an airport run, so I was like, we had to go at like, be there for like 1 a.m. So in my mind I was like, I just won't sleep. So I read a lot of this, and I really enjoyed it. And then today I've read like 100 pages. I am liking this so much more than Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass, and potentially even Crown of Midnight, though I really liked the end of that. I think we have really stepped things up in this book. We're introduced to more characters as well, which I find really interesting. Like, we've got a whole other continent, although it's not on the map, which is actually really annoying me. But we've finally got Rowan, who I know is in the series, but I don't really know, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure him and Aelin end up together, but I don't know much more than that. We've got Manon as well, who I knew was in the series, but I've just heard her name, don't know anything about her. But she's pretty cool. I like the 13. We've got Adian, who, again, thought he was like a bit of a dick at first, but isn't, and is actually really cool. So I'm quite excited to see all these different like POVs and how the story is going to progress. It's a lot to keep jumping back and forth, but so far, oh, and we've got Sorcerer as well, who's a healer. Yeah, it's a lot to keep jumping back and forth, but so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm also surprised that we haven't had any like crossover from Assassin's Blade yet. But I mean, there's still so much to go that we might have it later. But yeah, I am really, really enjoying this. It's starting to get hard to put down. Because Assassin's Blade, like, on reflection, it was okay, but I think I just didn't love it as much as I wanted to. I think because, like I said before, the stories were quite repetitive. it was just, I couldn't see where a lot of it tied in, and I guess that it's foreshadowing and it'll be in later. But yeah, I just kind of want to read the rest of the series so that Assassin's Blade makes sense in a way, because at the moment it doesn't. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I didn't even check my notes. Fuck. I am so tired today. I've not really been doing that much, but I've been sleeping so badly recently. Like, keep waking up throughout the night, can't get back to sleep, etc. And I've been having really weird dreams. But I am now at part 2 of Heir of Fire. And I'm really enjoying this. I really like it. But I have had a few thoughts. So I think I'm maybe enjoying Manon's story the most so far. I find it really interesting. We've got to the point where now she has Abraxos and they are like training together. She can fly Abraxos, etc. And I really like that. I didn't like the idea of the bait beasts. It was just really horrible. So I was really glad that she chose Abraxas and then has like built him up. I think Sarah J. Maas really likes the idea of the underdog, because I mean, we see it with the main characters, right? With Feyre, with Aelin as well to some extent, because when we find her, she is quite emaciated, etc. And with Bryce in a way. I mean, Bryce is a bit different, but maybe that's why I like her so much. But like, she likes the idea of the underdog. It's something we see all throughout her stories, so I really liked that aspect. And we're also starting to see, like I thought we would, hints towards things that happened in the Assassin's Blade. So Manon went off to go find some Stygian spiders, which was hilarious. Loved that. But while she was there, the Stygian spider mentioned the merchant that we saw in the Assassin's Blade, who had 20 years of his life taken in a deal. And was it the spider that mentioned, or was it someone else? Someone mentioned the like Queen of the Wastes who had red hair, and I was like, oh, are we talking about Ansel here? So maybe Ansel got her kingdom back and we'll see her in the future. I don't know, but I'm intrigued to find out. So that was quite exciting. There was also when Aelin and Rowan and Luca were out on... It was really confusing trying to picture this in my head, because they were in a cave on a mountain, but there was also a lake. Like, in my head, I cannot picture what that looked like. But they said there was a great creature under the lake that couldn't leave the cave or the mountain, and that it had been trapped under the mountain forever. And I was like,
that's suspicious. That's weird.
Because is that not potentially Bryaxis? I don't know, but I'm intrigued. So I think it's really interesting because obviously I've read Akatar, I've read Crescent City. I am picking up on things. Like, there have been a few times that they've mentioned like potential other worlds that are like on top of whatever, and we know that that is the case from Crescent City. So I'm really intrigued to see the more that is kind of... I am losing my words. I'm really intrigued to see like more foreshadowing, more kind of world building surrounding that. Sorry, Arif is like in a sun patch and he is just having the time of his life. So yeah, I'm going to try and do some more reading today. I am on page 328. So I think I have about 200 odd pages left, which is very exciting. I'm really enjoying this. This might be my favourite so far. And there is the little guy. Look at him go in the sun, having his little shower. Isn't he cute? Okay, I am back from our anniversary weekend. We went away to spend the night in Lake Savan, which the place we were staying was like right on the lake. It was gorgeous. I mean, you would have seen B-roll from there, but it was just incredible. Like, we had the best time, went in the sauna, like had a bath like overlooking the lake. It was just so nice and relaxing, which was what we needed. And then like watching the sunset and the sunrise was just so good. So very happy. But while we were there, I managed to finish the last like 150 pages of Heir of Fire, and I have so many thoughts. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. This is without doubt my favourite in the series. I know I said that after Crown of Midnight, but like this was so good. I think the new perspectives added a lot for me. I really liked Manon, and I liked seeing what was happening in all these different locations. I thought that was so interesting. Also, I'm wondering, like, are Rowan and Aelin mates? Because I feel like there's a lot of hints that they are, but can you have two mates? I don't know. Because obviously he said he had one before. So now I'm confused about that. And now they're like Karanam, whatever that is, like, you know, magically bonded or whatever, which is quite cool. Also, it was so good that Aelin saved herself. I think she needed to do that as like for her character progression. She needed other people not to come in and rescue her, so I was really happy she did that for herself. I cried as well, not at like the bits I thought I would when I was reading it. Like, I was like, oh, this is really sad, I should probably cry. Like when Saoirse died, or I don't know, just through Aelin's like inner turmoil. But what really got me was when Murtaugh I'm gonna cry again thinking about it. When like the rebels are meeting and then they send out the message and Murtaugh's like running across the country on his horse telling everyone that Aelin's there and just hold on. The writing. I can't. And then there was another bit that really got me as well. Where was it? It was after everyone was killed in the slave camps, which, first of all, insane. But yeah, here it is. So it's when everyone finds out that the slave camps have been exterminated, massacred. It was the bottom of page 423. when the theatre, they're all like, there's just this buzz in the theatre and everyone's like talking and like blah, 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 blah. And Kale's there and he's kind of watching, but then the orchestra walk on and they're all in black, and then they start singing the song of Elwë, the song of Fenharim, Elisande, Terrassin, each nation that had people in the labour camps. And it's just this total tone shift for all of the like elite upper class people. And it really reminded me of, I don't know, just like I mean, I'm not saying she copied it from this at all, because it's such a trope within kind of fantasy, within anything to show juxtaposition between the upper class and the lower class. But it really reminded me of the capital in the Hunger Games and the districts and the things they do that would show them like, whoa, you need to like really take note of what's happening in the world. So it really reminded me of that, and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, very like emotive. It also really reminded me of, was it book 1 or book 2, where the king kills the singer? Because that really reminded me of it as well, because obviously afterwards they're never heard from again, but it was just so powerful, so I loved that. I can't think of my other thoughts at the moment. I loved the book, and then I was so mad because I finished it like just before dinner, and then I was like, I don't have the next one with me. I don't have, was it Queen of Shadows with me? I was like, what am I going to do? So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm going to start Queen of Shadows in a minute, because I feel like the series is really ramping up and I am so excited. I just really want to know what's going to happen, because there are some really idiotic moves being made. Like Dorian kind of unleashing his power. I know like he wanted to save Kale, but like, and then Kale telling Aedion like, oh, don't tell her it was like, I've been involved. If she comes back, don't tell her. Huh? And then Aedion getting himself arrested. Like, oh, yeah, there's some real idiotic things going on. But I'm excited. So, yeah, I'm going to move on to Queen of Shadows. But, sorry, I'm like fidgeting. But I'm probably going to finish this vlog here, because, like I said in the last one, I kind of want to do it in chunks of 2, so that it's not too long for the vlog. So yeah, if you want to stick around and see how I find Queen of Shadows, then please do. I'm so excited. I'm probably going to start it today, because I cannot wait. See you in the next one. Bye.